let's just sew whatever. Hello everybody, I am here today to show you how to cut out the Trystal Tote. This is from y6Made. I purchased this pattern a while ago and I'm laying in bed trying to get Dorothy to fall asleep, looking through my patterns, trying to figure out what I can film some content for, and she was like, oh, I want that bag. So I'm really excited. This pattern is from my friend Kim, who I feel like I've known on the internet for a million years. She has the sweetest family. And I was like, you know what, Dorothy? I will make that bag. So here we are. I've even pulled the fabric that Kim made it out of that Dorothy was like, I want that one. So this is a frosted or jelly vinyl, which means this tote can be completely unlined, but you could also make it lined if you wanted to. So I'm just cutting out the paper pattern. I'm keeping some of the paper pattern hanging off the edges so that I can tape this together to make one big square. But Kim also mentioned to me, like, she will print this at smaller sizes to make different versions of the bag, essentially. Like 60 and 50%. This could even be a really great reusable bag for Christmas gifts if you wanted to. There's optional D-ring connectors in 1 inch, 3/4, and 1.5 inch. So you can literally use whatever you have on hand, which is awesome. So yeah, yep, this is one big piece. So I'm just trying to cut this accurately. So you can also add a gusset base. We'll read what that's about momentarily. And then there's also an optional pocket, which I'm like, ooh, nice. Because in like big totes like this, it's kind of nice to have a set pocket. So as I'm cutting this, I'm making sure to leave my little overhang edges in opposite areas and try to stay consistent with where you cut on that line. Okay, we'll cut those out in a second. And I have been enjoying using double-sided tape to put my pattern pieces together. This may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I just find it holds really well and it's less obtrusive looking. I don't know how to better say that. Like I don't have the big tape chilling, hanging out. You just have to be a little more careful about putting your pieces together. But you could also, instead of using those big chunks like I'm doing, could just use some smaller pieces, and that might help it feel less permanent and like you're gonna mess it up. Oh, here are here's the additional cut list. I made it. I did it. I had a thought. And I said it out loud. And if you can believe it, I started this evening with the easy stuff. So I definitely see this being a bag you could size up or down, but I think it's a good size as is. And since it's just the front and the back, if you wanted to cut your gusset a little narrower, you could totally do that too. Okay. So I am using tape to create a little dry erase area on the pattern. So for that cut list, I can mark off what I have cut, what I haven't. I am going to go ahead and cut out this pocket. And you could cut out like 2 of these. And since we're using like a frosted vinyl, you could line them up on the bag, maybe use a little bit of tape or like a washi tape, and then sew at once. And then you have a pocket on both sides that you only had to cut out once. Optional gusset base. She's created a pattern piece, but it's on the cut list, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw that away. Oh, no I'm not. I'm gonna put it on Dorothy's table because she loves cutting out pattern pieces. Dorothy is 4, and she's really good with scissors. All right. So I'm trying to decide if I want a jelly to coordinate. I think I do. Dorothy has been loving green, and this green matches. This green is from the Emporium. She has some jelly vinyl. I love jelly vinyl. It feels like Elmer's glue when you try it. I know I've mentioned it before, but did anybody make bookmarks from the top of their pen holder? Because I did constantly, where you like color in, fill it with glue, let it dry, and then when you peel it off, it's colored and glue. Just me. Okay. Checks out. Anyway. So I think I'll make a green pocket, and I'll make my gusset green. And then I might even do like pink binding, maybe. So let's see. Gusset. Gusset is 5 inches wide. So let's go ahead and get a 5-inch wide ruler. I think if I cut it, yes, if I cut it this way, that'll be perfect. And I could even use this. I might use this as my binding. We'll see. So we'll go ahead and lay this into place. This print doesn't have a super directional area, so I'm not worried about it. A freshly made bookmark. I'm gonna go ahead and mark my centers with a tiny little mark. We're gonna be folding down this top edge when we put the bag together, so I'm not gonna worry about, like, it's okay to make a snip because you're not really gonna see it later, in my opinion. And I do want to be at least a little consistent with the direction I'm cutting this. I'm not going to add the optional D-rings, but what's kind of cool is from what I read of putting this together, you could add those any day. It's kind of like the last thing you do, and you can either sew those on or rivet those on. So, just saying. And then we're going to cut some webbing for the straps. 1 gusset, optional gusset base. So I'm guessing that optional gusset base, ma'am, is to strengthen the bottom. So maybe I'll cut that out of the, oh wait, no. I was gonna cut my green out of the gusset. So maybe I'll cut it at the flowers and it'll be kind of fun inside to look at that. So this is 5 by 7. Oops, sorry for saying it out loud. But I think this will be cool laid on top. I'm gonna use this for my binding. I think that'll be nice. Okay. Okay. So this is a, oh, it's a 14-inch. 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 14. Oh, the other one? Are you a 5-inch ruler? Yes, you are. You are the one that I want. You are the one I want. Because I can pretty much use this ruler and then some to cut this out. Because I just need to add 3/8. Yay. And we can go ahead and mark the center. I think that's fun. And then we've got our optional pocket. Throw that away? Yeah, okay, my bad. My bad. I want to keep these just in case, because you could still add that D-ring as a keychain. Like, you know what I mean? I have one little piece here, so I could add a little 3/4 inch D-ring to the top edge and use it to clip keys onto, use it to clip a keychain, whatever. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So we've got our pocket. I think the shape of this pocket is adorable too, because you can tell, like, it's the exterior scaled down, so it's gonna fit just adorably. And that's a raw edge pocket, so you just want to make sure that you cut it as clean as possible. Now, if you are worried about how to scale this down, what you would do is you would print it out at, let's say, 60% and then multiply your measurements by 0.6. Just FYI. I think I'm going to use one of these lightning bolts on this bag. No, I probably shouldn't. These are expensive. This is just for Dorothy. But it would be a really cute little gift bag, not gonna lie. All right, now we need 34 inches of binding. Of course, you could use something that's pre-made that already exists. You could use bias tape binding. But I'm gonna see. Okay, I do still have plenty of it. I was gonna say I have this little coordinate that I had designed to go with it that I used as binding previously. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, because all those same colors are there and I think it's really fun. So we're gonna go ahead and make it 1 inch wide, or could do like 1 1/4, and that just gives you a bigger seam allowance, but I think this will be good. You just want to make sure that you line up that raw edge. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut this a little bit longer than I need it to be. Yeah, it's not much, but just a little bit. And you want to make sure that it's as cleanly cut as possible. So one consistent rotary cut if you can. Make sure the edges are nice and straight. Pressing down on your ruler. And then we need our webbing straps. You could make this with, you know, jelly vinyl handles if you wanted to. You can even make it with handles that are, like if you're making a gift bag, you could probably do 1/2 inch handles. I have some 1/2 inch webbing from Wizardry. But I will go ahead with 1 inch. I think I'll do this purple for the handles. Got a ton of it. This is webbing I used to carry. I thought it was nice because it was softer, but it has a white core, which was aggravating to some people, and I totally get it. So we no longer carry it. But I think this will be nice. So we'll go ahead and do 22 inch handles. It's just for carrying around. And if you're worried about your webbing fraying and you want to add a little extra stability, you can just add a little scrap of that jelly over the edge. And then it's encased, and if it frays, it's got to go through your stitching first. So then you can just go through that cut list, mark off with your marker what you need to cut, haven't cut. But we've got everything cut. There's no hardware needed, which is super exciting. And this is going to be like a fun little satisfying bag to sew up. So I'm excited for that. We've got our gusset, our pocket, gusset bottom, binding, handles, and our front and back of the bag. And that's it. I'm excited. I want to make it right now, but I have more things to cut. So thank you so much to Kim and her family for being such awesome humans and allowing me to do this video tutorial. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys when we sew it together. Bye.